Hey everyone, it's Tom from Ludicrous Feed. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to do an in-depth look at the cabin controls for the Kia EV6. We're sitting in a GT line all-wheel drive. Let's get into it. So down here on the side we've got controls for the side mirrors and also for each window down here. Then down here we've got the park brake. You've got opening the charging port, opening the boot, and also what level of projection you want the front headlights to be. 0, 1, 2, 3. And then here in the steering wheel, we've got the indicators on the right with the light switches. On the left side, you've got the wipers. Left steering wheel, you've got cruise control, menu icon, which we'll go through later on. Toggle for the traffic follow during cruise control, and also lane keeping and lane assist. This button here is to pause cruise control and also to set the maximum speed limit. This is for the menu as well. On this side, you've got the mode button, which you can customize. This is voice activation. This is also a favorite button, which you can customize. This is for the phone control. This is volume control. And this is a toggle for the menu. All right, so let's have a look at the drive console screen here. So using the menu button here and up and down. And this is the drive mode button here. So pressing the drive mode button switches between sport, eco, and normal. And holding drive mode down brings you to snow. If I hold on to OK in the settings, it brings up the screen here in the middle. So it gives me an offset for speed limit tolerance for 0, 5, 10, and -5, -10. And warnings for respective limits. You can have speed limit assist, speed limit warning, or just turn it off altogether. If I flick down, it brings you to the driver attention level screen. Also shows you drive information, the current efficiency from the last drive. I've driven 2.3 kilometers with that efficiency for 12 minutes, but this is the overall drive efficiency down here. And then accumulated information with similar information. And after the last recharge. This is the compass. This screen shows you whether the battery is being used or whether it's recharging from regen braking, and also which wheels are being used, whether it's the front, rear, or all-wheel drive all at once. Speedometer is here, range is here, and this indicator shows you whether the battery's being used or whether it's being recharged from regen braking. Odometer's down here, auto hold at intersections, current battery state of charge, what level regen you've got it on, which you can change with these paddles when you're driving. You can also check tire pressure as well. So down here in the center, we've got the gear controls. So park is press, reverse, neutral, drive, parking camera, auto hold at intersections, and that's the on-off button, which you must press if you exit the vehicle to turn off, and turn on when you enter the vehicle. Buttons here you've got for seat ventilators, seat heaters on respective driver and passenger side, and also steering wheel heating as well. Then we'll move to the touchpad here. You've got two options. You've got this option here. If you want to reach respective screens on the touchscreen, map, navigation, star, you can customize. SAIC track is for the radio, and then there's the radio button there. Media button if you've connected your phone, and set up for the audio. There's a dial for tuning, and that dial is for volume and power. Buttons for front and rear demisters, and auto climate and recirculate. If you want finer controls for climate, press this button here, and that brings up a lot more functions. You've got temperature control for passenger side and driver's side as well. You can sync or unsync. And you've also got fan settings and where the air is coming from, which vents, AC on and off, driver only. And of course, every time you press one of these buttons here, for example, the auto climate will switch off. Just press it back again to let the car do the work. And you've got 3 levels of auto climate, and that will change the fan setting. So 1, low fan, 3, high fan, 2, medium fan. Alright, so moving on to the center main screen here. So this is kind of the home screen that I would normally have it on when I'm driving. So we've got the radio settings here on the left, then we've got the battery state of charge Then we've got the range right there, and then you've got a bit of the map here and also the time and date. If you slide to the right like this, you get more settings, ranging from EV settings. We'll go through each one, and the manual's on the last screen. Anytime you're in any of these menu settings, for example in EV, anytime you press that home button, will bring you back to this main screen here. Let's have a look at this menu to start with. You've got display off, that'll go black. Anytime you press the screen, this will come back. You've got edit home icons, so you can choose which icons you want and you can drag them around as well. And the manual is here as well. And from this screen here, you can press any of these regions here. So for example, if you press this area here, you can adjust the radio settings there. And the screen is quite responsive, by the way. If you press this area here, brings you the EV settings. And if you want to nav quickly, just press that screen there. All right, so let's go through each one. EV, you've got, so in this visual, you've got how much range you've got with the AC on or off. And then you can set the departure time and schedule charging in this screen here. You can set V2L settings here. So this is the target charge for the next departure. This will make sure the car does not drop below the certain percentage that you set if you're using V2L, vehicle load. And then there are more settings in this cogwheel there. DC charger and AC charger upper limit settings. Charge current, you can't set a numerical number, but you can just go maximum, reduced or minimum. Winter mode will decrease driving range, but keep the battery warm. And utility mode is for V2L. If you press this area here, the car is telling me that it'll take 43 minutes for high power charging. Presumably that's at the car's top charging speed, which is about 230 kilowatts. Fast charging 1 hour and 41 minutes, presumably that's 50 kilowatts. And that's for DC charging. Then you've got AC charging at a station, presumably type 2, 6 hours and 30 minutes to 100%. And then portable, which is, I assume, the 10 amp charger, it'll take 28 hours and 20 minutes. I press this here, it'll bring up all the closest charging locations. Again, without software updates, it's hard to know whether these will be up to date, if anything changes. All right, let's go back to the main screen. So we've got map settings. There we are, you can move the map around like this, zoom in and out with your fingers like that. And quite handy is also information about the battery and range while you're playing with the settings there. You can of course set where you target as your destination, add to address book. Navigation menu, you can search somewhere that you'd like to go, and previous destinations is here. If you want to quickly navigate somewhere you've been previously. Address book, Kia dealerships, and coordinates. Phone menu, which I won't set up because it's not my vehicle. Phone projection for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via an approved USB cable, so you need to be plugged in. Voice memo, if you need to record something real quick, you can do that. Climate controls, there you go, different settings there. Radio controls, different media, of course that probably requires Apple and Android setup. There's also this sounds of nature, if you want to feel a bit calmer. Just hear that coming through the sound system there. Let's turn it up for you. It's been raining enough in Sydney, I believe. Let's pause that for a sec. And quiet mode, there you go. Radio media is played only in the front seats and volume level is limited to 25. Traffic information. Satellites that it's receiving from. Interesting. And more settings for the vehicle. There you go, all the different warnings and driver assist settings right there. You can turn these on and off. And they're all customizable. And just something real quick as a hack as well. If you want to turn all those warnings off, just hang onto this button for 4 seconds. One of our viewers kindly told me that, so thank you. Good little trick there. You can customize the different drive modes. And this one's interesting, active sound design. So if you want to hear the vehicle with augmented sound, you can adjust the settings here, enhanced, normal or soft. I like to have it off normally. The head-up display is fantastic. You can customize the head-up display, which is pretty good. It's quite handy. I like the head-up display in this car. You can customize the cluster, which is the drive screen there, the climate, seat settings, lights, door, lock, unlock. There are so many settings, aren't there? It's amazing. Phone connection. Wow, you can customize that as well. Bluetooth system info. You can set some profiles. You can customize the theme. Dark mode, light mode. Adjust your display. Blue light filter. Reduce eye strain. More buttons here, so you can customize that start button down here, that one there. You can also customize the start button on the steering wheel, which is this one here. Also customize the mode button on the steering wheel, which is this one here. So yeah, lots of settings. You can also switch the volume tune knob if that is what you wish to do. And then finally, general settings. You can have a look at the car software version. Information as well about the car memory. Look at the manual again. Date time settings, language, Korean English, keyboard, units, media settings, or press default. There you go, so many settings to play with right there. Alright, well that's pretty much the bulk of the screen here. I think I've gone through as much as I can. Certainly the ones that I would use in this car, but there we are. That's the Kia EV6 GT Line all-wheel drive cabin controls. And many thanks again to Kia Australia for loaning us this Kia EV6 GT Line all-wheel drive for this week. It's been an absolute pleasure reviewing it, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and until the next Ludicrous Feed video, happy charging.